Hey, Robert, so good to see you.
Good to see you too, Scott.
Thanks for
And you
not
have
pushing that guy over. All
your
right.
nice wife sitting next to you too. It's nice.
This is my wife, Mary. So, yes, she never joins me on these calls. So, um, maybe just a couple things to point out, just for our Outlier family in general. I mean, we have two gifts here as far as um, in Robert, and then also Kristen Christie, who just joined. She lost her husband to suicide. He was a lieutenant colonel in the Air Force, and she is her and the work that she has done uh, is directly responsible for the 988 crisis number that you can now call. So she was a big part of establishing that across the United States. Um, and she just recently joined, and you know, Robert, I put a message out to her and you, and I bugged her to get back to you as soon as she can, and I know she's travels quite a bit, so she's assured me she's gonna reach out to you and give you a big bear hug at some point. So
Wonderful.
um,
Love to meet her and talk to her.
yeah. What one thing though for the group, so you know, when I was in command of the Air Force Base, and you know, Mary certainly remembers the suicide, folks who died by suicide at the base. Um, you know, and we had three total. The last one was a spouse, a woman, and they literally just moved to the base and from Salt Lake City, and they found her dead in the bathroom. She hung herself, and there was alcohol involved, and you know, there are some things that you do generally see, things that you've talked about, Robert. But what's interesting is there's probably three times the amount of just ideations or attempts. Okay. And that's the ones that we knew about on a small base of about 14,000 people. I can't imagine how many go unchecked, unnoticed, that you don't ever know about. And so people often think about, well, suicide prevention is about getting it to zero. Okay, that's a good number to shoot for, but that's if you know and you pick up on signals. And oftentimes you don't. And great people just choose to take their life, unfortunately. And there is work to also be done on postvention. Um, I would call a woman like Kristen in. I had her speak at Scott Air Force Base and talk about her message. She has an incredible message that she's delivered all over the Air Force and in the Department of Defense. But there was another doctor that I would always call on postvention because it was very interesting. And she would always, and every time I called her, she goes, "What's going on, Scott? What can I do to help?" I said, I just had a suicide on the base. She's like, "Okay, here's the things you need to be talking about with your team." Because generally, these things tend to come in twos and threes.
Hmm.
Um, and like clockwork, for the three that we had nine more attempts uh, after those first three. And it just is so strange how human behavior can even see an event like that and then think it is okay that I'm going to go through with this. So if you do have folks within your organizations, maybe somebody does die by suicide, that is the time to hunker down with everybody and get everybody together and not separate, not go to your own corner and just leave it
Correct.
be, because
Correct.
there is more damage potentially out there that could be coming to an organization's way. So I just want to share that because it's just it's it's really strange, but it makes a lot of sense when you talk to a postvention specialist like that and why these things do occur. So
That's so true. Thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, twos and threes is pretty common. Let me just say that it's great to have you all here and you're still here. And I'm honored that you'd stay. There are other nicer topics to talk about, lighter things going in the holiday season to talk about. But this is the one that I grabbed onto when my friend, went home and shot himself. And I'm glad that you're aware of this. You don't have to think on it all the time, but just be aware that there are these people that are struggling. And other than that, I hope that you have a great Christmas season and things go well and you're able to look at people and encourage some folks. And say something nice to a waitress, or say something nice to a gas station person, or, store clerk, and just be a light. And people be amazed how they'll remember your name when you're just a little light in a dark place. And so I appreciate you, Scott, allowing me to be a part of this. And I look forward to seeing some of you at the retreat. Some of you are going to go to Nicaragua, have a great time. I've been to Nicaragua a lot. I've been on the phone, on the computer with Peter now, maybe 5, 6, 8 times, because he and I did stuff down there in Nicaragua at the same time. And so we were already reminiscing about some of the things that were happening when we were both in Nicaragua in 85 and 90 and 95. So have a great time there. And Scott, thank you again for providing a community like this where people get to talk. Meg, for supporting him, that people get to process. And you don't need to hear guys like me, but there's a lot of folks that have giftings in this group that can be an asset to the group. And it's a great group. And if you want to talk to me or call me or email me or something, again, my number is 949-542-9600. Be happy to process with you this holiday season or whatever, and be your friend. So thanks, Scott.
Robert, you are the best. We could all live to a very ripe old age and never meet another human being like RHO. I mean, there's nobody like him. If you want to spend 4 days with him, come to Rhode Island. All I